Greetings from Govardhan. Okay, let me get where we are. I just gave class right now, and I was speaking to Leela Balasini about our little Govardhan retreat, and I'm kind of getting a little bit excited about it. Yeah, there's a guest house right next to my place, and it belongs to my friend. We went in, and it's super clean, and I'll buy heaters because it's the winter. It's got plenty of hot water, electricity backup. But we really want to give a real deep Vrindavan experience. I somehow or other, really a wonderful devotee. His name is Shamuna Jeevan. I think I wrote at Sadhus of Govardhan. He's the real thing. I mean, it's like a real Goswami. And he wanted to meet me because we only touched base. So I went to Radhakund to his room, which is as big as a closet. And he'll come one day and do kirtan and answer questions. Meet a real sadhu. And then there's another, the wife of Gopi Pranadhan, who is a Sanskrit scholar. She lives kind of 3 minutes away. And she's like a Saint Francis of Govardhan. She has a menagerie in her house, but also very interesting people. So I'm going to speak. I've been doing the Krishna book, and the synchronicity is that when Sharad Panima came, it was Rasa dance, so we're actually speaking those. I'm reading from that and discussing it, and it was really, really nice. Okay, now I'm on the Caitanya-bhāgavata. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kichu na jāniluṅ mushi āpanā khāiyā. Vaiṣṇavera nindā kailuṅ pramatta haiyā. I did not know anything. Out of madness, I ruined myself by blaspheming a Vaiṣṇava. Om āpanā dhananjana shalakaya. Taksur unmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave namaha. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vanshakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaiṣṇavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Siyadvaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So greetings from Govardhan. Yeah, I also went to Vrindavan for a few days, and you'll read about it in Monday morning greetings. But I think I can share this story with you now, but you should also read it. During Govardhan, during Kartik, there's one Russian devotee, younger, who again is some people that are kind of like family. So him and his wife, they're kind of like family. So he actually stayed in my living room. And while he was here, he found out that his mother-in-law had stage 4 cancer, but it was incurable. So I don't know if I told this story, I can't, but anyway, maybe not. Anyway, I was kind of watching him, somehow arranging for her to go to Vrindavan from Moscow. And it actually cost 1 million rubles, which is about $13,000. It was, somebody just gave it. You have to have about 8 seats on a business class, and they have to take them out, and they have to put a bed in, and you have to have a special doctor called a resuscitator. These are the people that accompany sick people. They go into war zones and accompany people on planes, and did a possible thing, and they got to the hospice, and I was coming I went into Vrindavan for that particular reason, and I would come and sit by her bed and chant japa every day, 7 o'clock or whatever time it was. So her breathing, started to get very, very heavy for a day or two. And I was chanting and watching her, and then I went back to my room, and then I got a call, you should come immediately. And I went there, and she had just passed away. And then her daughter, was very excited to tell me what happened. She didn't know she was going to die because she was breathing heavy for quite a while, and she started putting water. And then she got this kind of inspiration. She doesn't know where it came from, that she would read in Russian the translation to the song by about Lord Nityananda by Narottam Das Thakur, one of my favorite songs, Nitai Pada Kamala. She began to read Nitai Pada Kamala in Russian, and then she got spontaneous, she began to sing it. And when she got to the third verse, the third line, when she got to the third time chanting it, and when she got to the third verse of the third time chanting it, Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chanda Susitala Ye Chayai Jagata Jurai Ye Chayai Jagata Jurai Eno Nitai Vine Bai Radha Krishna Paite Bai. When he got to that line, without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, you can't get the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna. At that exact moment, the hospice aide taps on her thing and gives her a picture of Radha and Krishna, a laminated picture of Radha and Krishna, which she had asked for when she first came. It took them 10 days somehow to get it. And she saw it, and she put it on this table where a same-size picture of Prabhupada, and her mother couldn't communicate at this time at all. And she said, look, Mama, Radha Krishna has come. And then from her right eye, she saw a tear. And then spontaneously, she didn't know why, she began to chant, Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Natrayamaman, 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 Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Natrayamaman, Natrayamaman. And as she's chanting Natrayamaman, my mind, Natrayamaman, my mind danced, Nitai, to the mercy of Lord Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bolo, chanting the names of Nitai, Doyal Nitai. My mind dance, my mind dance, my mind dance. And then a mother opens her mouth and leaves the world. She looks up at the clock, and the clock says exactly 1200 noon. Exactly. It's a digital clock. And then she thinks, my loving, devotional mother has entered the midday pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Maybe. And the interesting thing is, Doyal Nitai are the deities in Moscow that she served. So it was quite synchronistic, quite beautiful. And I knew the mother. I was one of 3 people that were at her Zoom initiation that Dhanurdhara Swami gave. Myself, Mother Mandakini, who was the first Western Prabhupada disciple to preach in Russia. They love her dearly, her counselor and her daughter. And I was very close with her. And her quality was interesting. Before work, she had a very, very hard life, but she was she was extraordinarily beautiful. She's 62, and she had a hard life somehow, took full shelter of Guru and Krishna, chanted before work with real feeling and sincerity every morning. And by all accounts, no one has ever heard her say anything bad about anyone. So it's kind of a nice success story. So I wasn't going to write a Monday morning greeting and send an old one because I was spending so much time there. But when that came, I just went back to my room and within one day wrote it up. And it was Hemangi Priya. There's also a picture of her. You'll see how nicely she looks, pious. So that's a success story. Now we're in an interesting part of Caitanya-bhāgavata, and it's the life and teachings. The life gives the rasa, and the teachings give the tattva. And there's always both. And we're here with Lord Chaitanya. I'm not sure where he is now. I kind of forgot, but maybe he's still in Shantipur. And this leper begs Lord Chaitanya for mercy. He begs Lord Chaitanya for mercy. And because when he asked for mercy, Lord Chaitanya rejected him and was so heavy with him. He said, therefore, this burning pain of leprosy is nothing compared to the punishment that you receive later from the Yamadutas. You're not fit to be seen by me, and I am unable to deliver you. So it's so heavy. Guru means heavy. Whatever it takes. In fact, the story of this Mandakini was a young French girl, maybe still in her teens when she joined. And she began to serve Jamuna Devi in London, when those devotees established the deities of Sri Radha London Ishvara. I believe they began, and she became the Pujari. And if you saw her, and even her now that I know her, she's, one of these people that is just sweetness personified, just sweetness. I wish she came to America and the devotees met her. She is sweetness personified. So she tells the story that she read in Krishna book that the sincere disciple prays for even an order that is difficult to follow. That is something like that difficult. So she's praying to the deities, may my Guru Maharaj give me something difficult to follow. At that time, Prabhupada just came back from his first time in Russia, where he met Ananta Shanti. And he spent 3 days making this one devotee. And this one devotee said, and the devotee said to him, I can help you, but I don't know anything about the philosophy. If you can send someone to help me. And then they decided, well, if he can find him a wife, that would be an excuse to get someone in there. So he comes back. Prabhupada arrives in London from Moscow and asks the temple president, said, I met this guy in Russia. Do you know anybody we can recommend to be a wife? And then somehow he said, I know just a person, and calls this girl in. And then Prabhupada says, would you mind going to Moscow and marrying this Russian person? And then she thought her mind, this is like the last thing that I want to do. But I prayed for it. And so she agreed. And she tells the story. It's really funny because it's the Soviet Union. It's actually dangerous because a lot of times she tried to bring in books by train, and this was serious business. You can be arrested, and it's, by the way, it's wedding season here. After Kartik is the last day of Chaturmasya, this wedding. So I'm hearing that. And she meets her husband in the hotel. And the first lesson in Krishna consciousness she gives him is the 4 regulative principles. But this lady, more than anybody else, practically was responsible for spreading Krishna consciousness in Russia. The marriage didn't work out, it was doomed. But what a sweet lady. And this is actually synchronicity now, because I don't know why I'm talking about her. But at the retreats in India, down here, they have this resort, Braj Vasundar, they hold retreats, the Russian devotees. Mandakini is the roommate of this Himangi Priya. But Himangi Priya, who just passed away, she doesn't know English. And Mandakini doesn't know Russian. And they have become the best friends. Just communication of love can be expressed in so many ways besides words. So maybe somehow that came in here. But I'm talking about this, and this Lord Chaitanya is a little bit heavy. One thing I realized from I reading even the Krishna book today, that when initially the gopis are very upset that Krishna ran away from Radharani, and then Krishna left Radharani, and then the gopis saw that she was alone, and they were initially sorry for themselves. Now they felt sorry for her, and Prabhupada just then. He said something like, this is the essence of Krishna consciousness. And he talks about compassion. Of course, Jiva Doi, Krishna Nam, Sarva Dharma Sa, the essence of all religion is giving compassion. We do it by the holy name. But he discusses this. This is something with Krishna consciousness. So what happens is These stories are just such rasa. They're such rasa. Rasa means they're just dramatic expressions of love that move your heart and make you desire to want this. That's what spiritual life is what your desire is. You get exactly what you want. If you want Krishna, you have Krishna, because that's what getting Krishna means. Krishna is only separated from us by our desire. So the rasa is so inspiring, and it kind of opens your heart, and then at the same time, these instructions are there. And this is a very essential instruction about Vaiṣṇava aparād. An essential instruction about Vaiṣṇava aparād, not to do it, to avoid it. I heard that statement. I'm not sure. Bhakti is very, very easy. What is difficult is to avoid offenses. And the worst one is sadhu nindā. You criticize devotees. And I've quoted this many times. I don't remember where, but criticism is worse than envy, because envy is when it's in the heart, and criticism is when it comes out. It hurts. And he criticized Srivas Thakur, or it was Srivas Thakur. He criticized, and Lord Chaitanya is very upset because God is a person. And he doesn't like when you abuse those who he loved. And he's very happy with you more than anything else when you serve those whom he loves. Serving the devotees is so powerful. So Lord Chaitanya is speaking very, very strongly. Very, very strongly he's speaking, because it's such an important point. And we're so susceptible to it. We're so susceptible to it. Because we have false ego, and false ego is always wanting to push for superiority. And therefore we enjoy putting people down. We enjoy criticizing. And that's magnified in the modern age by the social media, because commentators have said, commentating on, the verse in the Upadeshamrita that we should, the obstacle to devotion, one of the obstacles is prajalpa, because idle talk ultimately leads to sadhu criticism of devotees. I'm here, very nice devotee is really serving me, and he's so expert. He's supervising the construction of my little ashram here. We're trying. He was like a sadhu, but previously he was a designer. So he had to make a real sacrifice today, because he had to buy marbles to redo the steps. And he came to me this morning and he said, I'm going, and it's anywhere between 55 and 100. Because the marble you pay according to its purity. So there's all kinds of different rates, the whiter it gets. I'm forgetting my point here. One second, let me get back. Wow. What was I going to say? Anyway, I forgot my point. Forgive me. It's my second class, and I get up early. I think I rested today, but I'm pretty alive. So this thing of blasphemy or criticism, it destroys bhakti, and it should be avoided. And that's what the highest Vaiṣṇava is. Even when Prabhupada describes, the Bhagavatam so exalted, why? Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo namatsaranam satam, because it doesn't have any of this fruitive intention, selfish intention is, and therefore it's for who? Nirmatsaranam satam. Nirmatsara means who don't have hate, but it also means envy, because envy is hate. And that's the standard of the Bhagavatam. And therefore, Prabhupada sometimes defines Paramahamsa as one who is free from the propensity to criticize others. As I'm at it, I was reading a very interesting book today. It's called The Ladder of Divine Descent. And it's very, very powerful. It's about written by the desert monks, and he gives 33 steps. So that there was one on criticism. So let me see, maybe if I read it, that can be very interesting. Light is kind of, okay, get it down. 1 second. I usually don't do this, but let me see if I can find the section. Must be at the beginning. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Yeah, I'm getting there, I think. Okay, on slander. Slander is the offspring of hatred, a subtle and yet crass disease, a leech in hiding and escaping notice, wasting and draining away the lifeblood of love. It puts on the appearance of love and is the ambassador of an unholy and unclean heart. And it is the rune of chastity. I'll just say, I rebuke people who are engaged in slander and in self-defense. These evildoers claim to be acting out of love and concern for the victim of their slander. My answer to that was to say, then stop that kind of love, or else you'll be making a liar out of him who declared, I drove away the man who secretly slandered his neighbor. The Psalms. If as you insist you love that man, then do not be making a mockery of him, but pray for him in secret. For this is the kind of love that is acceptable to the Lord. And remember, now I say this as something to be pondered, and do not start passing judgment on the offender. Judas was one of the company of Christ's disciples, and the nobler was in the company of killers. Yet what a turnabout there was when that decisive moment arrived. If you want to overcome the spirit of slander, blame not the person who falls, but the prompting demon. No one wants to sin against God, even though all of us sin without being compelled to it. I know a man who sinned openly, but repented in secret. I denounced him for being lecherous, but he was the chaste in the eye. Okay, anyway, you get the idea. Do not condemn, not even in your very eyes are seeing something, for they may be deceived. This is the 10th step. And he was six, anyway. Anyway, it's pretty powerful, so Lord Chaitanya, out of compassion, okay, a question. If someone, a devotee, hurts you and you need to talk about it to another devotee, is that criticism? Obviously, there's times where you have to correct someone or share something. It's not against bhakti. You see, what happens is 90% of criticism comes from hate, false ego, from hate and false ego, the false conception of the self as the controller and the enjoyer and all that. But it can, if anything that comes from love is not against bhakti. Or if in your own heart you need counsel and you're expressing that because you need counsel, not to put the other person down, then that's also okay. But what's not okay is to go around spreading it and getting angry with the person, etc. Yeah. Of course, there's constructive criticism, there's sharing of things for counsel, have people hurt you for the purpose of becoming more loving, maybe the person of giving it up for the person of help, for the reason of helping the other person. Yeah, so of course that's okay. Sadhura swabhav dharma dukera udare kritya aparadhera oshado kripakari. It is the natural duty of a saintly person to deliver the distressed. Saintly persons display mercy even on the defenders. And again, the famous quote by Socrates. When he was being condemned to die at the assembly. If you think you can harm me, you will not harm me, you'll only harm yourself. So that's the advanced stage. That what harms someone is when they go against Dharma. And if you don't go against Dharma, no one can harm you. Eteke tomare mushe laina sharana tume u pek shila udarive kon. Therefore, I take shelter of you. If you neglect me, who will deliver me? You know the proper atonement for everyone, and you are the Father of all. Please, therefore, tell me what is my atonement. I've already received suitable punishment for blaspheming a Vaiṣṇava. The Lord said, Prabhu bhale Vaiṣṇavera nindā ye jvana. Kushtaro kontara shastya likana. The Lord said, leprosy is insignificant compared to the other punishments for a person who blasphemes a Vaiṣṇava. Wow. Serious stuff. You have received only a temporary punishment. There is more to come, for you are fit to be punished by Yamaraj. The blasphemy of Vaiṣṇavas repeatedly suffers 84,000 punishments awarded by Yamaraj. So I'm not sure if this is literal or metaphorical or what. But it means Lord Chaitanya wants to know that it's serious. Because aparad, apa means distant. Radha means worship. So hateful activities distance you from worship. Upasana, worship. Asana means to sit. Upa means near. The activities we want to do that are upasana, not aparad. We want to do the activities that makes us sit near God, not far away, because pain is ultimately the loss of connection with God. It's like a fish out of water. And the connection with God is an energy of open-hearted love and exchange where you're feeling your relationship with God. And the whole world is made to bring us to that point. So to do something that's so hateful and distrustful as being envious of people who are humble, being envious of people who are serving God, then there has to be some reaction. And that's what even the law of karma is. The reaction comes, the reaction to purify you from the consciousness that performed the activity. The severity of the reaction is commensurate with the severity of the activity and the consciousness of that activity that is selfish and distance you from your heart and from goodness and from your soul, which is consciousness. So, O leper, go quickly and take shelter of the feet of Srivas. So this is the philosophy. If you offend someone, then you have to go to that person and get forgiveness. Tandre tase tume kariache aparad niskriti tomara tinhu karila prasad. Since you have committed an offense against him, you will be relieved when he forgives you. When a thorn enters the body, it must come out from the same place. If a thorn gets stuck on the foot, can it be taken out of the shoulder? I told you the means for deliverance. If Srivas Pandit forgives you, you will be relieved of your suffering. Maha Shuri Bhuri Tino Tandra Tasi Gele Shame Bena Shabe Tore Nistari Behele. His intelligence is most pure. If you approach him, he will easily forgive your offenses and deliver you. After hearing the Lord's most truthful statements, the devotees all chanted Jai, Jai. After hearing the Lord's instructions, that leper offered obeisances and immediately left. Thereafter, that leper received the mercy of Srivas Pandit. He was thus delivered from his suffering as his offenses were destroyed. The Lord of Vaikuntha thus personally explained the havoc that is created by blasphemy of Vaiṣṇava. If anyone still blasphemes a Vaiṣṇava, he will be punished by the Supreme Lord Sri Caitanya. The quarrels between Vaishnavas that one sees are not to be taken seriously, for they are the pastimes in relation to Krishna. We'll get to that one. But yeah, people have to know this philosophy. The way people carelessly use the internet to malign other people, I can see why Lord Chaitanya is so heavy. These people are destroying their lives. They don't need a reaction to destroy their lives. They're destroying their lives by the things they do in their consciousness that degrade it and cover it. Hate or resentment is like a shadow which covers the soul. It's the opposite of yoga. The whole idea is yoga is to purify the mirror of the mind. Cheto dharpana marjana, chitta, the mind. Cheto dharpana marjana. It cleans the mirror of the mind. And we know that hate and even justified hate justified hate. Hate is hate. And it covers the consciousness. And it has nothing to do with service. It has nothing to do with God. yeah, it just covers the soul. It's antithetical to yoga. So Lord Chaitanya is there, and here's the method. You have to seek forgiveness from the person you offended. Now he's making a point, because sometimes devotees quarrel, and it says, when foolish people see Vaishnava quarrels, they think that their quarreling is like that of non-devotees, but this is not the case. Rather, such quarreling increases their love for Krishna. This is not the ordinary banter that goes around among devotees. This is talking about these devotees on very high platforms where everything is coming from Bhav. The love for Krishna that Rukmini and Satyabhama amassed while competitively reproaching each other is enhanced by such quarreling and competition. Therefore, by creating quarrels and differences of opinion among Vaishnava, Sri Chaitanya has established the ideal of quarrels in this world. Although Satyabhama and Rukmini abuse each other and appear as opponents, they have a common spiritual goal. Similarly, there is no difference between one Vaishnava and another. Differences are created by Chaitanya for his pastimes. Therefore, if one takes the side of one Vaishnava and blasphemies another, he's doomed. So sometimes acharyas, there's differences, and don't get involved. Really, that's what it says. Because sometimes there's different perspectives and whatever. If one serves the Supreme Lord with one hand and gives him distress with the other hand, then how can he be benefit? If you're beating someone with one hand and serving someone with another hand, you're not serving, you're beating. It's just like if you go and you worship the deity, and then when you get home, you abuse your partner. And what the deity is a receptacle of God, and every living entity is a receptacle of God. In such a yuga, there was no deity worship, because people were so pure that one could see God in the heart of others. So people would worship other people. It was only in Treta Yuga when God saw that the qualities of the age have reduced and people were becoming less qualified to represent God and less qualified to worship other people as God. He had to establish that absolute platform of the deity. So really, in one sense, it was for neophytes. So if you go and you worship the deity and you insult others, then it's hypocrisy. It's like someone who, like a man who would treat his wife, very nicely outside, and then at home beats her. It's not love. So this kind of dichotomy is talking about it. You can't serve the Supreme Lord with one hand, and then on the other hand, harm him by you go to the temple to worship the deities, and then go to your computer and spew all kinds of crap about other people. It's about Krishna. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya is so heavy about it for our benefit, because it destroys the bhakti lata beach. One who understands that all devotees are limbs of Krishna's body is a most sober person. One who regards Krishna and the Vaishnavas as non-different while serving the lotus feet of Krishna is delivered from material existence. So to see that unity between the Vaiṣṇava, who has dedicated his life, and again, one Vaiṣṇava made a brilliant comment, which we have to take within context, that I lost my mind. One who chants or hears these auspicious topics never commits offenses to the Vaishnavas. I said before, one of Prabhupada's godbrothers, Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, gave a series of lectures of the stories of Vaiṣṇava Aparad in the Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita called The Heart of Krishna, Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. And the idea is when you read these stories where Lord Chaitanya is so heavy about it, it's supposed to have an impression on you. If you want bhakti, bhakti is very easy. A child can do it. What's difficult is our own nature, which has this hate, which has this envy, which has this tendency to control and criticize. One who chants or hears these auspicious topics never commits offenses to the Vaishnavas. In this way, Sri Gaura Sundar enjoyed transcendental happiness as he rested in the house of Advaita at Shantipur. Now, a next story is going to start, and I'll kind of just introduce it. By divine arrangement, the auspicious appearance day of Madhavendra Puri arrived, and that was Advaita's guru. There is no difference between Madhavendra and Advaita. Advaita Gosai was Madhavendra Puri's disciple. It is a fact that Sri Gaura Sundar constantly resided in the body of Madhavendra Puri. So he's basically the root of the Chaitanya tree, because as far as we know, that's where our particular perspective, because it's in line from Madhvacharya, but it has more spontaneous devotion. And it seems that's where it came from, somehow or other from Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra and his Jatipur, around Govardhan Hill, there's a few communities. One is Radhakund, and then so many houses and ashram. Then another is the Govardhan town. Then the other one is Govindakund, which is a beautiful kund with several small ashrams. That's very small. And that's kind of connected to the village of Anior. It's Anior. And then Puchari, the tail of Govardhan, and then Jatipur. So let's see, there's Govindakund, Govardhan town. That's two. Aniur, Govindakund, Puchari, and Jatipur. Jatipur means Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri discovered the Gopal deity. In fact, Leela, after the class, I think went with Vikram to see Nathji, the Gopal deity. Madhavendra Puri's devotional service to Vishnu is indescribable. Now, hear attentively the auspicious narration of how Advaita became his disciple. So that we'll discuss on Wednesday, and I'll be in Vrindavan, which is about 30 minutes away. And I have my apartment in Vrindavan by Krishna's grace. And I'll see if I can give class there to a few people. Okay. Jamuna Jaya, anything that struck you here? Any point you want to share?
Hare Krishna Raj, thank you for a wonderful class. There's a lot that struck me. I love the heaviness of what you read. That's what is it? Slander is the offspring of hatred. I love that, and even your voice got like, ooh, I love that. Yeah. But I also love that so much with the point that you said that the karma is based on not just the action, but the consciousness of the action. I thought that was such a good point, because it's always the consciousness. Something may not look that bad, but if there was really envy and hatred in the heart, that's really the thing. So thank you so
And
much.
not only certain activities are almost exclusively associated with certain consciousness, like war, but again, you can fight war in a sense of protection. And and then karma. Karma means work, but it's associated with the reaction to work, because that's usually what it is, but not all karma is that. You can work in a selfless way. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with criticism is usually connected with envy, but it doesn't have to be. Okay. Thank you, Juanajaya. Good.
Thank you, Raj.
Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Gail here.
Gail, Haribol.
Yeah, a couple of things. Well, one is, I really loved the how you conveyed that Mother Mandakini and is it Mother Hemangi?
Hemangi Priya.
Yeah, how the fact that they were able to share such love without language, verbal language, that was really sweet.
Such a deep relationship.
Yeah, you had to be, and if in order to communicate love without.
Well, if you've met them both, they're both extremely loving people. Mm-hmm. Extremely loving people.
Yeah.
So they never really talked, but they were so close.
Yeah.
So close.
Yeah, it would have been so nice to have met one or both, or especially both of them together.
Yeah, well, you'll read about Hemangi Priya, and I also, let me see, I have her picture. I'll show you her picture.
Oh yeah, I was really interested to see her picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, obvious. Yeah, and she is beautiful.
Yeah, 62.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was, and this is just before she passed away.
Yeah, it's not coming in so clearly, but okay.
In Bhaktivedanta Hospice. And actually, when I came to see her, when I came back to Govardhan and came to see her, it was really a shock, because initially she was sitting in a wheelchair, but she was so much pain. Her head was just like back. I don't know what it was. And then, because I also never spoke to her. Sometimes it was translated, but she really, somehow she was looking me as her guru. And with great pain, she just put her hands together and kind of showed some affection. So special person. Good. Anybody else like to say hello?
I wonder if I could just squeeze in a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you were saying about the duplicity of worshiping Krishna in the temple and criticizing devotees, I was thinking that maybe it's duplicitous because if you love Krishna or anybody, you will love or care about the persons that they love. So if you criticize his devotees, it's like you wouldn't like hurt somebody that Krishna loves. Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you love someone, you can't be nice to someone and treat their children nasty.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not love, but So basically, it's when you put love and hate together. When you put service and hate together, is hate.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
It's like, like they say, you can't massage the feet and bang on the head.
That brings it home better for me. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Wow, great to hear from you guys. If anybody, wow.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Haribol. Good. I do hope. Is there a chance we can see you in Govardhan?
Yeah, hopefully, yes. At this moment, Surya Radhika is in Govardhan Eco Village. She could go.
What's that? What?
Surya Radhika could go. She's in Govardhan Eco Village now. She's doing the course.
Oh, so she has to come back and get another visa?
Yeah, if we can get a visa, we come together. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And if not, you still can come maybe? Can you still
yeah,
come?
I am hoping to come. Yeah, she can get a visa. We asked. They said there's no problem. But if there isn't any other hassles, like I heard that again, coronavirus is getting bigger.
I don't know what's going on, but let's see.
But I'm very optimistic to come. Yeah, we are planning. We are hoping.
Okay, then I'm reserving your room. I'm reserving your room.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I really look forward every day to it to come. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay,
Yeah,
anybody else? Henry, like to say?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. It's so nice
Wow.
to hear you.
That's so nice. That's great. Is your daughter settled?
Yes, now he's in London.
I know that. She's been in touch with me a little bit. She's not homesick yet?
Que si tiene como extraña casa. A lot. She writes many, and I talk with her so many times that more than when she was here with me. I talk more now with her.
Okay. We're going to do a retreat there in Colombia from the 28th or 29th of March to April 2nd.
Oh, so nice.
Mark it on your calendars, okay?
Thank you for class.
I'll come with Yamuna Bihari and Leela again, and we'll do something. Of course, Champak, and we'll see who else comes. Because I'm doing a Govardhan retreat. A lot of the people that would go are going there, but I think it's expanding and people know about Colombia, so we'll get a few people. Okay, so nice to see you, Anna Marie. Hare
So
Krishna.
nice to and see you. For me, it's a pleasure, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Okay, Haribol. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Oh, ¿cómo estás, señorita?
I'm in the kitchen now, but I come to here to say hello and Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Where are you there? That's not the ashram, is it?
Yeah,
it's
the ashram. We
Oh,
have
I
a
don't-
retreat here.
Okay, okay, Haribol.
Haribol.
Okay, good, nice to see you. Okay. Henry, are you there?
I'm here, Maharaj. Yes, I had loved your class very much. I've got 2.5 pages of notes. I love cleansing my heart in the washing machine of Dhanurdhara Swami's Sunday morning Sanga.
You become a copy, a poet. Are you traveling now, Henry?
I'm Alachua, I'm at the, we had the Festival of the Holy Name for the last 2 days. And an incredibly wonderful festivals, hundreds and hundreds of devotees at Balabhadra and Gauravani, Yadubar, Jagat Purush, Brahmatirtha, just a cast of wonderful, wonderful devotees and so many young devotees, so much love. The devotees love each other so much, the hugs. It was beautiful.
Wow, wow. Have you been there for a couple of weeks now, right?
Yeah, I'm in my 10th day here in Florida.
Okay, the last time I spoke to you, you were there also. Okay, that's great. And Raghunath's down there too, right?
Oh yeah, he is such, people love him. They're talking about wisdom of the sages. He gets mobbed, you know, at the devotees. They all love, young and old. It's really uncanny.
Yeah. Well, you know, Henry, you helped start his career when he first began traveling, right? And you risked your life in Buffalo. I won't tell them the story now, but that you're still alive is a miracle.
Only the mercy of Krishna. And
Okay, Haribo. Okay, anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for the class.
Oh, Haribo. Okay. They've opened up India now to international flights. I mean, you could have got there, but there's some change. So maybe you'll check out things, maybe they'll change. If not, then Colombia. We do need some more devotees to come down to Colombia, and that may be a nice thing. You could stay down there when I'm there for a couple of weeks. All right, you'll see.
Okay, Maharaj. How long
Okay.
are you going to stay in Colombia for?
3 weeks. 3 weeks, probably from the last week in March and 2 weeks in April or something. I'll get that down pretty soon, you know.
Okay.
But one or the other try, okay?
Yes, Maharaj.
This year it may be more practical, the Columbia one, but you'll see what happens. Okay.
Okay, Maharaj, thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Sham Kishore. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Gumaraj, Tota Gopinath here.
And Kishore Radha.
I don't hear the third voice. Okay. Okay. She's there someplace. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Yudhisthira here. Pray for all of us.
Yudhisthira in Barsana. Wow. You're only 20 minutes away.
Thank you for the reminder.
Okay.
I took that picture in the late 70s, first time I met you.
Wow, huh? Okay. Great to see you. Okay, Haribo. Okay, anybody else? Thanks, Yudhisthira.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, it's Amala.
Amala, you keep on dressing like that, you're gonna have to shift from Albany to Vrindavan. It's just too, you don't even need a visa. You could stay there for the rest of your life.
I'm okay with that. Flights were just booked today, so I'm on my way.
Great.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the time of your life.
Oh yeah.
Especially you.
Especially where?
Especially you.
Oh yes.
Because you know you're completely into it, no mental plane. Just boom, get into it. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Krishna Premi, I will see you
Yeah.
in a few days.
Yes.
And I
Right.
told you are cooking for me several times a week with Radha Charan. That what I
Right.
heard.
Brother Shram Prabhu told me you don't like Chinese, so I'm kind of
Who said I
worried.
don't like Chinese?
Brother
That's
Shram
not-
Prabhu said.
That's not true. That is not
Oh,
true at all.
Oh, okay. Maybe what he means is that certain things you don't like.
I like everything.
You like dry things. You like dry things, right?
No, I like
Dry,
whatever you
crispy.
Tamal Krishna Maharaj taught me, don't get a cook mental. He hated when his disciples would come and tell the cook that don't cook this, don't cook that, don't. If someone's a cook, they're a cook. You cook what you cook best. That's all. That's what
I'm not
Tamal-
a.
But if you're cooking for me, don't worry about this, that. Cook what you think is best. Yudhisthira, you agree?
Okay.
No, he once said that. He got really upset with his disciple, went to an Indian's house and said, Marge doesn't like spice. Marge doesn't like this. Marge like, he said, don't do that. They know how to cook. So just cook.
But I'm not a cook, so actually you don't have many options. I'll just try my best.
Anyway, between you and Radha Charan, whatever is cooked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hi, Bo. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Narmasaki, Haribo.
Haribo, Guru Maharaj. Thank you for the class.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Good.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Oh, nice to see you again. Great. You're there in Northern England?
Yeah, we have snow today.
Ooh.
Yeah, thick snow here, Maharaj.
Well, you'll melt it with the warmness of your hearts, that's all.
John Maharaj, I was hoping to get to India in January. So if there's any spaces on that retreat.
Oh,
perhaps,
yeah, there will be. There will be. It should be really nice. I'll send you. Do I have your email? Just send me your email again and I'll send you the information. Okay.
Great, Maharaj. I appreciate that.
Okay. Haribo. Nice to see you. Okay. Good.
Hare
Anybody
Krishna
else?
Maharaj. Thank you for class.
Catalina, we have such a nice Colombian representation today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, tell your daughters that Maharaj is coming.
Yes,
March.
I have already know the dates. Yes, thank you. We'll love to see you again.
Okay, anybody else?
And stay safe, Maharaj.
I will. Good. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Govinda. Thanks for your class.
You get it. Look more and more serious every time I see you.
I'm trying.
Chaturmasya is over. You seem like you're doing Caitanya-bhāgavata or something.
Everybody liked the beard, so I figured I'd keep it for a little bit.
I don't care what you wear. Just okay, anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Sri Gandharvika.
Oh, Sri Gandharvika. Wow. Wish you could join us sometime. I guess after your medical degree, you'll be more free. But
Right.
Okay, thank you so much. Good. Anybody else? Okay, I'm gonna head out now. Bunch of